Have you ever stopped to think about your handwriting? I mean, really think about it. Whether you write in perfect cursive or a kind of messy scrawl, that style is uniquely yours. But what if it's telling the world more about you than you realize? Today, we're going to dive into the fascinating and, yeah, pretty controversial world of what your handwriting might be revealing.
So let's just get right to it. Could it be that your biggest secrets, all your little quirks, and maybe even your mood are just sitting there, right on the page for everyone to see? It's a pretty wild idea, and that's exactly what we're going to explore. The official term for this is graphology. It's the whole practice of analyzing handwriting to figure out someone's personality. People who do this, graphologists, believe that every single thing, from how you slant your letters to the space between your words, tells a story about what's going on inside your head.
Now, this is not some new TikTok trend. Oh no. Graphology has this really long and kind of complicated past. It's gone from being praised as this revolutionary new science to being totally dismissed as, a fun party trick.
I mean, check this out. The first book on it came out way back in the 16th century. By the 1800s, it started getting some real respect. Even Alfred Binet, the guy who came up with the first real IQ test, called it the science of the future. And then in 1929, the US got its own American Graphoanalysis Society, which really made it feel official for a while. Okay, this is the part where you get to play along. Seriously, go grab a pen and paper or just find a sticky note you wrote recently. We're about to break down some of the key things graphologists look for, starting with the big three: slant, size, and spacing. So first up, take a look at the slant. If your writing leans to the right, graphologists would say you're probably an extrovert, open to new people and experiences. If it slants to the left, that supposedly points to a more introverted side, someone who's cool being on their own. And if your letters are perfectly straight, up and down, well, that means you're all about logic and practicality. You keep those emotions under wraps. Next, what about the size of your letters? This one kind of makes sense, right? The theory goes that if you have large handwriting, you've got a big personality to match. You don't mind being the center of attention. Small letters, on the other hand, suggest you might be a bit shy, more focused, and introverted. And if your writing is just average, hey, congratulations, you're supposedly well-adjusted and adaptable. And then there's the spacing. Look at the gaps between your words. If you leave a lot of room, it's like you're literally saying, "Give me my space. You value freedom." But if your words are all huddled together with narrow spacing, that might mean you love being around people and really don't like to be alone. All right, so we've looked at the big picture. Now let's zoom way in. Because as they say, the devil is in the details. We're talking about the tiny little things, like how you make your loops, dot your I's, and cross your T's. Okay, find an L or an E in your writing. See that loop? If it's wide and full, the idea is that you're relaxed, spontaneous, and open-minded. But if your loops are really narrow or kind of squished flat, that could point to some tension or skepticism. Maybe you're holding your feelings in a bit. And the dot on your I. You think it's just a dot, right? Nope. A dot way up high suggests a big imagination. If it's right on top of the stem, you're organized and detail-oriented. Some people draw a little circle or a bubble. That's supposed to mean you're a visionary with a childlike curiosity. And if you just do a quick slash, that might mean you're a bit impatient or hard on yourself. How you cross your T is supposedly a huge giveaway too. A high crossbar suggests high self-esteem and optimism. Right in the middle, you're confident and balanced. A really long cross can mean you're determined, maybe a little stubborn. And if you cross it way down at the bottom, well, graphologists link that to laziness or lack of determination. Hey, don't shoot the messenger. Now think about how hard you press on the paper. If you use heavy pressure, leaving a deep mark, that suggests you're a very committed person and that you feel things really intensely. But a light touch, that points to someone who's sensitive and empathetic, though it might also mean you're a little low on energy. And finally, your signature. This is apparently your public face. It's how you want the world to see you. So if your signature is clear and easy to read, that says you're confident and open. But if it's a total scrawl that no one can decipher, that might mean you're a more private, guarded person, harder to get to know. So, okay, we've had some fun analyzing all these little details, but now it's time for the million-dollar question. Is any of this real? Is there actual science behind it, or is it just a cool story? Well, people who are really into graphology make some huge claims. They believe that a trained expert can look at a piece of writing and pinpoint over 5,000 different personality traits. 5,000. That's A lot of information to get from a grocery list.
And it's not just about figuring out if you're an introvert. Some argue it has serious uses. Take this quote. It claims graphology is a powerful tool in police work, helping to solve crimes and point investigators in the right direction. So, for some, this is very serious business.
But then you have the other side of the coin. For a lot of scientists, the skepticism is real. Many in the scientific community put graphology in the exact same category as astrology. They basically say that trying to find your personality in your handwriting is like trying to find it in the stars. It's pure pseudoscience.
So, what's the truth? Well, maybe the best way to figure out what you think is to try it for yourself one last time. Grab that pen and write down this sentence. Today, I analyzed what my handwriting might mean about me. Now look back at everything we talked about. The slant, the size, the loops. What do you see? Does that sound anything like you?
And that really brings us to the final question. After all of this, what's your take? Is graphology a genuinely insightful tool that can help us understand ourselves better? Or is it just a really fun parlor game? Something interesting to think about, but not to be taken too seriously? The final call is up to you.